group did irrigation. Irrigation is basically the distribution of water throughout the greenhouse to each plant. Irrigation, we thought irrigation was important to the greenhouse because it really distributed water equally to each plant, and it would be easier for everyone because they wouldn't have to constantly go down there and water the plants by hand. One of the ideas that someone came up with was hanging sprinklers from the ceiling and having a timer go off so that they could water the plants. Some of the obstacles that we came across and thought of was getting enough money to raise money to build the irrigation system, the source of water, and the distribution, and figure out each plant's water source. The questions that were asked were what plants would we use, what kinds of materials were needed, and how the water system worked and how much water was needed.
All right, good job, good job. All right, guys, were there any other ideas about the irrigation system that y'all want to add before we move on to the next thing? Anybody have any really detailed ideas of how to distribute the water or anything like that?
I mean, it's not really an idea, but it's more of I think one of the problems was not getting all of the plants water, but how much each one needed. And that's kind of a question, because the sprinklers on the ceiling is a good idea, but we just need to not know how often to water them, but how much each plant needs.
Okay. Jacob.
I also think if we put drainage systems on the side and all the water drained out, we could reuse that for irrigation so they wouldn't have to spend money on water.
Okay, so recycling the water or using those water barrels to collect rainwater and stuff. Guys, so we're talking about, I've heard from Bailey and I've heard from a lot of people, the problem of how much water to water each individual plant because different plants need different amounts of water. What would you suggest first, coming up with the irrigation system or coming up with which plants? Okay, and then is it important to know where in the greenhouse those plants are going to be first?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe we need to prioritize and figure out plants first, locations of the plants first, and then the irrigation system. Is that what I'm hearing? So maybe irrigation system is something we're going to have to hold off a little bit on. But do y'all think it's still important?
Yes.
Yeah, because what's the alternative?
What-handed?
Dead plants or hand watering. Okay, good job.